topic for discussion on this edition of Clover Professional Series is selling on purpose. The question might be asked someday is, why are you in business? A lot of us would probably answer, I'm in business to make money or to make a profit. But do we really believe that? Would any of us really sit down with the customer and say, I'd like to sell you a lot of this beautiful fabric so I can make some money? Or do we sit down and say, I'd like to sell you this sewing machine so I can increase my profits? We probably wouldn't do that. In reality, the profit is something that results when we have satisfied the customer's need. So what that follows behind that then is that if we want to increase our profits, we have to increase the degree of customer satisfaction. And how do we do that? We have to come up with a plan, and that plan is to sell on purpose instead of selling by accident. So let's talk about where do we start as a store. Everybody has customers, but we have new customers and we have existing customers. We have product, we have new products, and we have existing products. So if we look at the little chart we've put in, studies have shown us that if we have a new customer looking at a new product, we have about a 5% chance that we're going to make a sale. If we have a new customer and an existing product, we have a higher probability of sale, up to 10%. And that's because they've seen this product, either advertised on television or somewhere else, and they're familiar with it, and they'll make that purchase. If we look at our existing customers, when they see a new product, they're more likely to buy. We have a 25% chance they're going to buy, and that's because we've established a relationship with them. There's trust there. They see the new product, they know we're behind it, and so they'll make that purchase. If we have an existing customer and existing products, it's a little lower, but that's because a lot of these folks have already purchased this product. So if we look at this, ask yourself, where are we going to make most of our sales? We have probably a 40% chance of making a sale here and a 15% chance of making a sale here. The problem we arrive in is most people are chasing the new customers instead of developing our existing customers. This is where we're going to find our revenue development. This area is where we're going to find our market share improvement. But which one do we want to do first and why? Well, remember last time we talked about the 80-20 rule. 80% of our business comes from 20% of our customers. Well, let's develop this because this is what's making us money. Now, studies have shown us that there are 5 primary things that people look for when they come in the store. These things influence someone to buy. Now, if you would have asked me originally what was the number one thing, I would have probably guessed price, but it's actually the least important of the 5. The most important thing to people when they make a purchase is assurance. They want to know that they're going to buy something that's the right thing for them to buy and that you back it up as a store owner. The next thing is quality. There are some people who will buy the cheapest thing they can find, but most people want a quality product that they know is going to last them, or if it's a service like instruction or a class, they want to know it's a quality class. The next thing is service. You can't get around that, and we all talk about the employees and the staff, our sales staff that works for us. It's important that they all know the answers to all the questions, that they all be educated on how to use all the different sewing tools and fabrics and all these different products that we sell. The next thing is selection. And by selection, we don't mean that you should carry everything. It's such a huge economic burden, and you don't even have the space to carry everything. And the people that come into your shops aren't really expecting you to carry everything, but they want you to have the important things. I've gone in stores that had 11 different seam rippers. When you have 11 different seam rippers, you're forcing people to do a lot of homework to figure out which one they want. You should have maybe 3 seam rippers, a really inexpensive one, and then have one that has some kind of a special feature, and then the one that you really want to sell them that you're making more profit on. How do you set up your notions wall, your notions area? I've seen some of these selling notions. I go into a store, it's the first thing I go to and I look at. Some of them are very neat and clean, others look like a garage sale gone bad. You know how those are. You walk through and you accidentally find something you want, or something you're looking for you never find, and it's there but you don't buy it. So we want to set up our notions area so it's logical, so everything's neat, and we can direct and help our customers make decisions. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is price. Okay? Why would people be willing to pay more money for something than they could at some other store? The reason they're willing to pay a little higher price from you is because of the previous 4 things, because you provide extraordinary service for them. Okay, so what are some of the things that you can do as a store owner, as a business owner, to solidify the support and the loyalty you get from these folks. One thing that I would recommend is, you know who your best customers are. Single out 4 or 5 of them, take them to lunch. Send them a nice little invitation, invite them to a working lunch, and ask them what they think of your business. What things should you have? What things do you have that are really good? What products would you like to have? What kind of classes? You get this kind of feedback from them, you're doing 2 things. You're improving your store, and you're also solidifying your association with these people, because now they feel like they're in partnership with you. Another thing you can do for this special group of people is, when you see them in your store, give them something free. You know, it costs a little bit, but again, you got somebody that likes you, likes your store, and they have friends that they'll be talking to. So there's a lot of things you can do to solidify this group. Now, we talked about this is our revenue development. Those things will help develop our revenue. But how about market share? What are we going to do to get this market share? A lot of stores are involved in radio ads, coupons, ads in magazines, trying to compete with a lot of the chain stores in that area. But that's really spreading your resources very thin. Is there some way that we can focus your resources and get right to the best sowers? Well, let's go back to this group. These people are already your fans. So how can we use these people to help you get these people into your store? I'll give you just a couple of ideas. One is what I call the double coupon, and that's just because I haven't thought of a better name for it. But when one of your customers, or actually any customer, buys something from you, you give them, slide them a coupon over with your products for 10, 15, 20% off on some items, but tell them that the coupon is not for them. Show them on the bottom there's a blank space where they put in their name and phone number, and ask them to give this coupon to a friend who sews. What they'll do with that coupon is they'll go home and they'll find a friend who sews, they'll take the coupon over and tell them that this is a coupon for them to use. The reason this person wants to do that is you inform them that when that coupon comes back to you, their friend gets a discount, but then that coupon with their name on it goes into a drawing for, let's say, $100 of fabric at the end of a certain period of time. So now your customer has a vested interest in their friend actually coming in and buying something from you. When that customer comes in, what do they see? They see this extraordinary service that you provided, so hopefully you have a new loyal customer from that person. When they buy something, give them a coupon. What if somebody asks for 4 or 5 coupons or 10? Give them to them, because they're going to go out and find friends that sew, and they're going to come in and they're going to buy something from you, and then they're going to want to be in on the drawing as well. It gets a lot of people into your store. How about the drawing itself? If somebody comes in, they've won a drawing for $100 worth of fabric, figure out what that is at your cost. It's less than $100. But how many times will people come in and buy just $100? They're going to go over a little bit, so you're actually going to make a sale on that as well, which will offset your investment. There's another program for education. A lot of people love classes. So tell people, you know, we have a class, we have a nationally known sewer that's going to come in, or quilter that's come in and demonstrate some products for us. Class is $50. If you bring a friend who hasn't had a class here before, you get half off, or you get the class for free. What have you accomplished? Who wouldn't pay $50 for a new customer that's going to come into your store from then on? So that's just another area. A third area might be kids camp. You know, a lot of people would like to see their kids learn how to sew, but they don't want to take the time to do that. Have a kids camp. Just allow 5 kids once a month on a Saturday. They come in. It's a free class. When the child arrives, she gets a little bag. She or he gets a little bag with a zipper on the top, and inside are some needles, a pair of scissors, you know, a couple little basics for some sewing notions. And they sit down and they make a pillowcase, and it's free. And when they get ready to leave, you give them a Ziploc bag with all of the ingredients to make another pillowcase when they get home. So now they're going to go home and ask mom to help them make one. And so if mom hasn't been sewing for a while, she's going to sit down and sew with you again, and then the child's going to want to come back in. And guess who brings the child in? Mom. So we're getting more people back in the store. Another place to look for some of these customers, or some of these customers that are kind of gone away, is to go through and see who's bought sewing machines. If you have a machine dealer, see who's bought sewing machines and hasn't come in for their classes. Okay? Those are people that call up and invite them in for free classes that get them back into the sewing process. And another area where you can find these folks is to get involved with the local quilt guilds, embroidery guilds, sewing guilds, knitting guilds, shop hops, yarn crawls, a lot of different programs you can get involved in. So, when you look at all this, what have we done? We've got a plan, and the plan is how to sell on purpose. I'm Steve Butler, and that's been the Clover Professional Series.